There has been quite a lot going on for you three in particular. We started off with this morning in the theater when Angel and Cole discovered a recording that was from the room where Cass was when she passed. Slash actually was murdered. And in that recording, you heard her talking to someone, which was someone Cole recognized, his friend Lily, who works in the hospital, except for she was at work that night. So afterwards, he went to go talk to her, see if she knew anything. And in that conversation, she mentioned some things that made him think she might be able to help answer some questions. So he took her back to the theater, and that's where we ran into Hes, who had ended up running into Angel at the lab. Well, Angel went to get some information about possibly making some alliances to get people to help fight against the stranger, and that's where you also heard that the stranger was going to be having lunch with the wizards at Calhoun's, and then you and Millie went to go check that out, and then you ended up following him afterwards. We'll get to where you found him in a second. Meanwhile, back at the theater, Cole and Hes ran into each other. He dragged Hes into the recording booth to listen to it. Lily was a little bit surprised by it. When Hes realized what was going on, she got very upset very quickly before it got to the point where Cass died. And after she calmed a bit, Lily said that she might know some people who could help. I had texted a friend to come pick her up, and you all were taken to this quaint little house that apparently has a indoor pool that was drained and had a living room built over it. And you were taken downstairs to meet with some of the people in Multae who have some knowledge of the different multiverses and different timelines and anomalies, which it sounds like it might be like that, but Lily and Kirsten don't know quite as much, so they took you to meet someone who would. And Hes had a lovely surprise of having her full name dropped by her mother.
Full government name.
Oof. And it shocked you so much that you went through one of your transformations in front of everybody. Before we get into that scene, going back to Angel, as you followed the stranger, you follow him to, it's this little house. Looks like all the other houses. You'll be able to find it again. He didn't see you, and he just goes in. And then you continued on because you saw a text from Hes that she was going into the basement of a secret group named Multae.
With the location.
She did share the location. So you're going to go check that out, but you'll be arriving in a bit, and we briefly see you driving rather quickly to come help this wizard and her friend Cole. And we go back to the basement, and Hes, you just did your transformation, everyone's staring at you, including your mom, who may not seem as surprised by this as you think she would. Would you like to roll to figure someone out?
Sorry, yes, I was trying to remember how she changed, but yes, I will definitely roll to figure someone out. And what circle is she so I can know what I'm rolling with?
Power.
Power? Okay, that's not bad.
Like you said, she's kitchen witch, so not as powerful as most of the wizards that work in the lab, but she's still considered one of them, kind of.
Yeah, she knows her way around stuff. But 11 on the dice, plus 1 for my circle with power, so that's a 12 altogether.
Okay, very nice. You get to ask 2, and since you're in the circle, you can ask an additional question, so you can ask 3.
Okay, first off, what is Mom thinking about this right now is what Hes is trying to figure out, because there she is with her, little demon tail and vampire fangs and demon horns and her little floofy Highland cow ears all pinned back and...
Yeah. I'll reiterate. She seemed a lot less surprised by the transformation than by you being here.
Oh.
How did you get connected to someone who knows about this group kind of thing? The weird magic transformation doesn't faze her as much.
Okay.
It's less of a what is that and more of a curious surprise, I guess.
Okay. So kind of like things are clicking into place.
Yeah, or like a, oh, so that's what they meant.
That's fair. Okay. Okay. I get, what, 2 more?
Yes.
What does Mom want from me and Cole right now? Like, what is Mom trying to figure out? Because Hess is trying to figure out her game plan here.
With the way she seems more surprised by your being here, she looks at between you and Lily and Kirsten. Probably already knows that Lily and Kirsten are close, and she's like, what are you involved in that led Lily to bringing you here? What's going on?
Okay. 3rd question. Can I tell if my mom's been corrupted by the stranger at all? She's gotta know.
I'll say, there are absolutely none of those dark corruption, like, creepy stranger vibes here.
Cool.
Kind of looking around, you might see there's, like, notes and almost like a conspiracy board kind of thing on a wall. And just at a quick glance, like, you see the pictures of the missing people and some other things that make you think, oh, they're looking into the same thing for some reason.
So seeing that, she kind of points, right, Angel would absolutely love that, and walks over. So we found Hawk, and then there's Darren. They're both missing their souls, and we also found Roz. Don't know if we found Bart yet. Did we? Cole, was Bart found? Was that in the group chat?
So far, no one's found Bart. Well, as far as you know, there have been no information about Bart being found.
Yeah, Hess is just, like, ignoring, like, she is not going to address any of this right now. She is doing the avoidance tactic. So, right, I don't know. You remember Cass, lovely girl. She's dead, killed by the stranger, so that's great. And apparently the stranger, we surmise, has ripped out Mr. Hawk and Darren's souls, along with Roz, and who knows what he's done with Bart. So we're just trying to, get this all figured out and get him the fuck out of town. Twitch your tail.
That does fit with some of the things we found. My question is, how did you get involved in this? And Mr. I'm afraid I don't know your name, she says, looking at Cole.
You can just call me Cole, that's fine.
Pleasure to meet you.
This whole time, Cole is literally just looking at everything on the walls, taking in everything he can possibly see. He's not paying attention to much of what's being said.
Do you have a move you would like to make?
Not necessarily. I'm picking things up basically as you're describing. I'm just looking at things and trying to observe more than anything.
Okay.
Hess will motion Cole over and point at the board, like, oh, that's a better picture than we got. But her name is Natalie.
Yeah. So in that case, she's like, my name is Natalie. I'm Hess's mother,
Which one were you going to tell me you were doing this?
When were you going to tell me about your reality hopping? Which, based on how quickly that transformation happened, you're probably doing it a little too much. There's still a lot we don't know. And I don't...
You cannot lecture me on this. We are not going to have this
We're having this conversation. We just don't have to have it right now, but we're having this conversation.
No, we're not having this conversation. There's far more. The world is about to end if we don't fix it, so I would rather not have this conversation.
Kirsten pipes out, the world's gonna what?
Right. Prophecies, Jonah, Hexen, Hex Girls.
You mean John Hendricks?
Yes, that asshole. Fucking oracles.
Well, that's concerning to say in the least, so what all do you know about what's going on?
Hess looks at Cole like, you want to take it or you want me to take it?
By all means, you go ahead.
I'm assuming there's like a whiteboard nearby.
Yeah, there's a whiteboard.
cool. She just kind of levitates a pen into her hand with the magic and starts drawing. So everything's conducted in the multiverse, and she makes like kinetic circles somewhere, and she draws like a big smear. The stranger decided to hop from there, and then draws the line to what she's dubbing their reality to here. Now, for some reason, apparently people keep disappearing. This is a thing that happens often. The barrier is not as unpermeable as people thought. Evidence given the stranger, and she kind of looks at her tail that's like twitching around her ankles. Moving on. So we learned, because Cass was trying to help Rose figure out where all these people were disappearing to, and the stranger was doing it, and there was she had visions or something, which she didn't share. I don't remember her sharing, but she was going to consult her friend, which turns out to be a variant, an alternative version of Lily here, and then the stranger killed them, and so we've been on this quest to figure out where the missing people are, and it's collided with the stranger, and now we're trying to get him to stop destroying the world, because Mr. Cuckold's prophecy says if the last oracle dies, then darkness takes over Oak Ridge in 3 days and everything disappears.
Mom just blinks at you for a second.
I'm sorry it's not a PhD presentation.
Well, that fits with some things that we've been trying to monitor and figure out. I'm gonna say at this moment, you notice there's at least one door in here that seems to go somewhere else. You're not entirely sure where, and there's a quick knock before the door opens, and you see someone stepping through. Man dressed nicely, like a dark polo shirt tucked into his pants, and he has a file folder with him, and he stops for a moment when he sees the both of you, because he wasn't quite expecting that. And would you both like to roll to put a face to a name?
Absolutely.
You will be rolling with Knight.
That's garbage. 3. No, sorry, 4. I have a -1 altogether.
You don't recognize them at all in the slightest.
I rolled a 9.
I think I have an idea who this is, though.
We'll see.
It's what's-his-face, the one on the TV screen. He talked to the Scoobies during season 1 on the TV screen. I can't remember his name.
Oh! Yeah, no, it's not Josh.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I do not know who this is.
That was a really good guess, though. On a hit, you know their reputation. And you said you got a 9?
Yes, I did.
You recognize him. This isn't someone you've interacted with a lot. His name is Clark Ward. The main wolf pack in Oak Ridge technically just has one leader, but she has a brother and a sister, so they all kind of share the leading responsibility, even though there's only one of them. This is the brother. This is Clark. He also works on the police force. There's probably another pack that lives in a different area. This pack particularly lives near the Boys and Girls Club. They're good people, very loyal, very protective, and they're probably among the cops that Millie's people would have called. They're trustworthy, and it looks like he has a file in his hand. He's like, did I miss something?
Bring your daughter to work day.
He just came from a door that we hadn't really paid too much attention to, just a door in the room.
I mean, you may not have been watching it, but you were aware of the door. Because I feel like seeing a door in the bottom of a swimming pool.
Right. How close am I to that door overall, in the layout of the room?
Question, why are you asking? Is there a move that you want to do?
Not maybe.
Take your wizard with you.
How close do you need to be to do the move?
Well, I kind of really want to try to pull a... I'm sorry guys, I need to excuse myself real quick. I need to take a leak, and then just open the door and try to pop my head in just to see what's in there. And wrong door, and then back out.
There's a bathroom upstairs. There's not a bathroom.
I just assumed. You don't know. I don't know these things. I can play dumb. I just want to see what's in that room.
Our golden retriever boy.
Roll me 2d6.
Okay. 8.
Okay. So I'll say as he opens the door, you're able to see through it. It looks like there is a long hallway behind him.
Okay, that's enough for me.
I was about to say, I can give you what you're looking for without you having to go.
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize.
So in response to bring your daughter to work, he's like, I didn't know we were bringing more people in, but with what's going on, that's probably a good idea. Here's the file you wanted, and he goes up and hands the file to your mom. She's like, oh, I guess you'd also be interested in this if you want to come join us. I imagine you've been like standing a couple feet away, and she's standing at a table looking over stuff.
Yeah, there's like a very palpable nope gap right now. But yeah, she'll like kind of jerk her head at Cole and over to the table and make herself on the opposite side of where her mom is, because they are not having that conversation right now.
You get the feeling she's moved on from that for now. She did mention like, well, we will have this conversation later, but this isn't the time or place. So she's
so I won't get murdered.
Shifted back to business. Got a cool mom.
Aww.
She's gonna save the rest of that very awkward conversation for when you weren't surrounded by your friends.
It's gonna happen either way.
And I think this may be around when Angel is pulling up to the house. And Angel, as you pull up, there are 2 cars in the driveway. There's not actually a garage to this house. There's 2 cars in the driveway. You don't recognize either of them. But you know this is where your friends are.
Well, before she goes charging in, she's gonna at least take a minute to observe the outside of the house for anything sus.
Would you like to roll to study a place of power?
That sounds great. Let me see what I roll with that. Oh, right, the circle, like, is this power?
Yeah, let's just say power.
Whose house is this? It's my house now. Whose house is this? It's my house.
That is an 8.
Okay, on a hit, you see below the surface to the reality underneath.
She's mostly making sure that it's not a trap.
You're looking at it. You see signs that there are wards around this house. Seem to be mostly focused on protective, the kind of thing that will defend against anyone coming in with, like, antagonistic intent. Useful for keeping out, thieves and so forth. But you aren't getting... I was trying to think of if you've been around the vibes that the stranger gives off.
They've been described to her.
When you were near the room where Cass died, you would have felt a little bit of it left over. You're feeling none of that.
Okay. So yeah, she's gonna park on the street and go straight in. Well, head for the door. The intent is, I don't care, I'm not knocking, I'm going right in like I own the place.
My mom says if it's cool with your mom, you can join our interdimensional task force to save the world.
I'm gonna see the door's locked. So you're gonna have to knock.
Fine, I'll knock.
So you knock down in the basement. You can hear the knocking sound as well. And Kirsten's like, who is the... We have everyone. He did...
Well, we do have a group chat. And you are strange. I didn't know you. And so, in the interest of not being kidnapped by potentially enemies, we did give the location. They're cool, though. As she does the awkward thumbs up.
Kirsten just gives you the look of, yeah, I get it. Lily gives you the same look. Your mom is a little more like... kind of look of, well, we don't want everyone knowing this, but I'm just gonna hope. Please be careful giving out that information in the future. Stuff we talk about, people would panic if they let Kirsten go let them in. She said, yeah, no, I'm gonna... Kirsten goes upstairs to let her in. There's a bit of kind of like a scuffling sound of, sounds like someone kind of trying to run to get the door. And you were lighting up a son. Hi, are you Hess's friend?
I suppose so.
Ow.
Okay. Are there any other people coming that we should expect?
There were others that saw the message, I think. I think they read it, but I don't know that they're coming.
Okay. Maybe text them during the doorbell if they come. Because sometimes it's a little hard to hear the... Yeah, just follow me. I'll show you where everyone is.
Thank you.
And she leads you into this very, very spacious living room, and you see the trapdoor still open. Like, yeah, just come on down, and Hes and Cole, you see Angel coming down. And Angel, Hes looks very different than the last time you saw her. And you also see someone at the table who looks very similar to Hes, but older and, well, Hes minus the magic weirdness.
Right.
I give a coy little wave. Just, hi.
Okay. So you're Multae, right? Gesturing at, like, Hes's mother.
Yes.
And... Dimension... Freaking weird. Okay.
I feel that. Trust me.
I suppose a good place to start. I don't know what everybody else knows. I know what I know, but I don't want to be covering already traveled ground. So, we know the stranger. I still wish I had his feckin' name. It'd be so much easier, or at least something.
If you get me that or his body stuff, I could curse him.
I mean, there wouldn't be much sense calling him the stranger if we knew, right?
Precisely. Anyway, not supposed to be here.
Yes.
You, Multae, deal with anomalies like this. Stopping them. Dealing with them.
And lie to the daughters.
Like you haven't lied to her dozens of times.
She gives you that stern mom look.
She wilts under both Angel and Mom glare, because that was supposed to be under her breath, and she realized she said it very loud.
Okay, so what we know, there's still a lot that is unknown about things that are going on. But it all started when a bunch of scientists decided to try and send some other scientists back in time, and that created a different timeline.
So the tower did all this.
No, I don't think we're the first.
Okay, I don't feel like that's necessarily relevant. How it happened isn't really the important part. The important part is dealing with the stranger.
You're going British.
She does. Because she, born in Ireland, raised there for a number of years, but then moved to and being around two other English, she would easily. And I did that because I can't keep the Irish straight anymore.
The look on Cole's face as you're just popping off is like, oh my god. Just like listening to you pop off right now.
Sorry, I'm just trying to provide context for what we're dealing with. So, once they did experiments and it caused different timelines to merge, when they started happening in Oak Ridge, it bridged them. At least that's what we think is going on, or what some people think is going on. Multae started in one of the realities, and they try and find people who can possibly help deal with anomalies which seem to come from none of the realities. They come from a sort of in-between place that came when they were bridged, we think. And apparently, if they're left too long, it starts to sort of infect the world until it consumes it. So, most of us were brought in by someone who got a message from someone in a different reality. The stranger's an anomaly, one of the things that came from another place. But he also doesn't fit how these things usually interact. It's possible that maybe whatever this other thing is learning, but there's still a lot that no one really knows about what this thing is, and it's a little hard to get answers from other, I guess you would call them chapters, because communicating between these timelines doesn't work super well and has to be done by someone that doesn't exist there.
So you're saying the stranger is a case of rapid evolution that shouldn't technically happen, but is it possible magic, or is it just something?
Yes.
Think about it this way, alright? It makes sense because they exist outside of the multiverse as we know. which would make sense because Cass couldn't see him in her visions.
Right.
And fate doesn't know what to do with it. The world doesn't know what to do with it because it doesn't belong here.
It's like a blind spot on a car. When you're merging, you have to look over your shoulder and be able to see it, but any other time you can't see it. Without knowing the blind spot is there, you're at higher risk for...
This is all academic anyway. We need to deal with him. We need to be doing things, not theorizing about what he is or how he came to be here. We need to be figuring out how to get him out. Now, I'm working with a couple of members of the Wizards, or will be. I've gotten connection with them to reduce his hold on the city, as it were, which will give us more time than the 3 days.
And then Wynn and I are working on the machine that potentially lets us see into the reality where souls are, so that could also help us see his connections and everything. Of course, that could also ring the dinner bell on me using it and become a potential target, but then again, I've been realm hopping for several months now, so at this point, it's kind of a moot point. It's just really making the red looks over at her mom and realizes what she... and just... and the point is what? Can't we just... looks at Cole, you have guns, right? Can't you just... makes the motion of...
I'm just here for a good time, honestly.
I know where he sleeps.
That's useful information. Where?
Well, it's likely where he sleeps. It's where he went to after his lunch meeting with the Wizards.
Interesting. We've been trying to get information on him, because usually when something comes over, there's an object it's attached to. And if you destroy the object that lets it stay here, it has a harder time having a foothold. But he's been here a while, so it's been harder to find it. I'm also still trying to figure out the implications of it taking human form, because I feel like there's something we're missing.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Yes, Hess.
Can Hess... I don't know how intelligence checks works, but Ven had thoughts... and I want to see if Hess would be able to connect the pieces that I've thought and present it as a theory.
Roll plus mind.
Roll plus mind. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, if I call it the wrong thing, I did run Monster of League earlier today.
Mind is right. I've kind of not been doing that for Angel, mostly because her mind is a 2, so she's pretty fucking smart.
No, Hess got a 5, so it just, she looks and, she's staring at the tunnel and staring at the photos. And, there's something there, she just zooms in on a picture of the stranger talking to someone powerful. And it's it almost clicks in her brain. But then it just disappears.
Oh yeah, they've got a conspiracy board here.
I will say, in that picture, you can't see the stranger's face, but, you just looking at the picture, you don't know how, but you know which of those figures is a stranger.
Okay, that's disturbing that I can't see his face. But I know it's him. Does anyone else find that creepy?
Okay, they have a conspiracy board here.
Yes.
Oh yes, I said you would like that.
Yeah, Angel is now going to be laser focused on this and comparing it to what she remembered, Roz's board, and trying to see if they can fill in any gaps or if she can fill in any of their gaps with Roz's information, because she's 99.9% sure Roz was not in communication with these people.
Would you like to roll to figure someone out, to kind of figure out what they know?
Sure, I can do that.
The questions fit, so...
Figure someone out. Oh, goody, it's with mine. Perfect.
Yeah. Hess is just staring, trying to figure this out.
Also, question, what is Cole doing?
God, I'm really just observing and taking in as much information as I can. I'm not trying to figure anything crazy. I'm just watching the dynamic between the individuals in the room. I am scanning over what they have written down on this conspiracy board, but I'm picking up on things. I noticed Angel said that they knew where the stranger might sleep. I'm picking up on things that I want to question about later, but I don't want to dive in it in the group that I'm currently the people that I don't know. I don't like not knowing them.
If there is a thing that you would like to roll at any point, just let me know, so if you want to see if you can gather more information.
Honestly, there is one thing I want to roll, but I don't know exactly what to roll for it move-wise. I do want to look at the board, and if it's a conspiracy board, I want to start looking and see if there's names, locations, anything specific that, like, town-wise might stand out to me that they've been keeping an eye on that I might not be aware of?
Roll plus mind or roll to figure someone out.
Sure. That's a pure 12.
Ooh, boxcars. Nice.
So, I'll start with Cole and then go to Angel. So with Cole, as you go looking, you gather that most of their information and research seems to be they're trying to find things. You notice they have a bit of a timeline so they track anomalies. They have a way to recognize when they show up. Could be something that, like, information they were given from another way to, like, things to look for when anomalies show up so they can go deal with them quickly. You do see a timeline. It does go back farther than when people first started becoming aware of the stranger.
Have I noticed anything on the board that is mortal relevant, or any of my cohort, including just my group? Is it strictly stranger, or are they keeping tabs on anything else?
Would they have reason to think anyone in your group would have a connection to the stranger?
I don't think they should, but that's kind of why I'm curious.
Okay, so as you're looking, you spot interesting things like the weird timeline. It looks like they're mostly focused on finding what's tethering it here, also looking into the missing people. They also seem to be looking for people who seem particularly connected to the stranger. And you might see, like, one or two people in your group, but it looks more like they might have been, like, getting information from them more than really kind of suspecting them.
Okay.
I talked to this person and they mentioned this in their research into who might be totally in the stranger's pocket.
All right. Like, seeing that and feeling slightly, not necessarily comforted, but just some of my curiosity is a little eased. I'm going to sit back and continue observing the situation. I have this really kind of crappy little ballpoint pen that I'm going to pull out of my pocket and just start kind of spinning it between my fingers, just kind of fidgeting so I'm relevant and in the room, but still distant and observing.
Okay, so with Angel, you said you got 9?
Yeah.
On a 7 to 9, they ask you one as well, so what are you going to do?
I'm not sure which question could be tweaked into this, but she's basically she's looking for the gaps, either in Roz's conspiracy board, or the gaps that could be filled with Roz's theories.
Okay. We can just switch it back to just being a straight up mind roll to see what things you notice.
I'm fine with figure someone out, because I'd like to also know how to put them in my debt. It's nice to have people in your debt.
I'm in danger. Hes owes you one, I know that much.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the how to put them in your debt. Just looking at the information and looking around the room, like, they have no idea where any of the missing people are. You know where at least 2 of them are. You have access to resources and stuff that can help deal with this. Basically, they need help. Are you trying to, like, put the group or put a specific person?
Mostly the group as a whole.
There's, like, maybe 4 or 5 people down here in this basement, not including your group. They don't have a lot of connections or sway.
Okay.
You do. And resources. So it's one small group of people trying to track anomalies in a town/world where shit's weird. You also notice that the timeline traces back farther than when the stranger first showed up. That could be when whatever the anomaly is first showed up. And can you roll to put a face to a name, please?
What circle?
You'll be rolling power.
Ooh, that's a 12.
Okay. So, as you're looking, you just kind of scan along, and you're looking at their information on the people who went missing. And I'm gonna say, not that long ago, when you were following the stranger, you did get a good look at his face.
Right.
And with the stranger, he has this charm that he had on in the restaurant where it's like he looked like everything anyone ever wanted. You saw him when he thought no one was looking, so there was less of that. You saw what his face actually looks like. And as you're looking at the faces, you realize you had seen that face before. It's Bart.
Oh, shit! Ah, yes! Oh my god!
I wasn't kidding about the shocked Pikachu face.
No!
So...
But I'll say, with how high you rolled, like somehow you've met Bart before. Somehow. Maybe like you were coming through for a different thing.
She has spent some time in Oak Ridge before.
Yes, like you know Bart. You know him pretty well. You've like worked with him some. You're familiar with magic. You can sometimes like sense magic, anyway, I would assume.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, she sees ghosts.
Oh, yeah, then definitely something that drew you to wanting to work with Bart on certain things was you saw there is a spirit that is attached to him. So it's part of how he does the magic. It's not like a weird possession, it's kind of like a symbiotic thing. It looks like a technicolor crocodile with antlers. And he refers to as Vehigante. And you have always been able to, like, see bits of Vehigante around him. You saw absolutely none of that when you saw him outside of the house. And also, just the way he moved and walked, it didn't look like how Bart walks.
Okay.
Yeah, Angel, how do you react when you realize that?
Yeah, so Angel's almost completely checked out of the conversation that was happening and completely, like, laser focused on their theory board. I don't want to call it conspiracy because this isn't a conspiracy we're talking about.
It's just a general term for
Yeah.
that style of word in my head.
Right, yeah. But so she's going over their conspiracy board and looking at the images, and she bypasses it at first and starts moving on to the next, foot section of the board, and then she just stops. And turns. And looks at it for a minute. And she's just gonna slowly turn around to face everybody else in the room.
I don't know if I like that face.
So, everyone here is actually aware of who the stranger is. I've just figured out his name. And I don't think anybody here is gonna like it.
Okay.
Because the stranger is Bart. Or something that has... It's likely not actually Bart, but something has taken his skin. For lack of a better word.
Or possessed him.
Or possessed, yes, a possession.
That was Lily.
I've dealt with Bart before. I've been through Oak Ridge a time or dozen in my time. There was a spirit that he always had. I don't know any of you that knew him or dealt with him at all, but there was always a spirit attached to him. And that spirit is no longer around. I observed him for a while when I was following him and tailing him and all of that. He doesn't act like Bart, but he wears his face behind the glamour.
He also drove, like, really well. Like, perfect driving.
Yeah, and I didn't think Bart could drive.
Bart's a terrible driver.
So I'm not sure if it's that same spirit that has possessed him, or perhaps came into contact with the anomaly, or became the... Lily, was it?
Yeah.
Do you know how these anomalies appear? Sorry, and I didn't catch your name either. I'm... to the mother.
My name's...
Natalie.
Yeah, Natalie.
Alright, Natalie.
And you're Angel Day, right?
Yes.
I've watched your show.
Oh, thank you. So, how do these anomalies happen? How do they normally occur?
So, and then she'll call back to see someone. She's standing in front of a table and everyone's kind of gathered around, and she kind of like flips through a couple of papers. Okay, I think here. So there's like a certain energy signature that shows up whenever one of them shows up, and they just kind of show up. when we learned what it was, we were able to track it, and some of us are connected to the scientific field in different areas, so we were able to get equipment to track, and she points, and there's like a couple different spots marked on the map. This is the ones we've been able to locate, and we're able to find and like destroy or deal with most of them. But somehow we didn't notice this one. Or something happened to it before we could get to it.
So these anomalies are normally not beings, but things, yes? Or forces?
They're things with some sort of something else to them. Like an intelligence. It's beyond our comprehension, but there's something that wants, and that might be why they keep showing up.
No, so H.P. Lovecraft is now right in our world, is he?
Oh, God.
Apparently.
So you don't know how it happens, you just know the after effects of what happens when it happens. So...
Yes.
Okay, let me rephrase that question then. Does it affect something that was already in this world, or does it introduce something entirely new?
Most...
So, I have two separate theories depending on how it happened, so let me just put them both out there. So, either the Higante was affected by the anomaly and became the anomaly itself, and because of its connection with him, managed to possess him, or the anomaly is something entirely different, but possessed Bart because of that sensitivity that he has to the spirits.
I mean, that is a possibility.
You did say that this anomaly is anomalous even for anomalies, yes?
Yes, and pretty much every time it's been just an object that appears and it just feels wrong. So we've been able to get rid of it each time, but there was... So this actually explains something, because there was... Around when Bart was reported missing, we registered a signature that didn't quite make sense in this area, and she points on the map that's to a point that is around where that house is. It didn't fit the arrival and anomaly. That could have been something happening to this other spirit. Maybe they were fighting for him? Hes, would you like to roll to figure the Higante out?
Sure, I will roll to figure the Higante out. 5. So I got nothing.
You've got a lot going on in your brain. So maybe when something else came in and it pushed the Higante out? It's possible that could have been what this reading was.
That sounds quite possible, because Angel, leans over the map and, puts a finger down, because that is the house that I followed him to.
Oh boy. Yes,
So, do you get service down here, or do I need to go back upstairs?
We get some service down here, and there's also a hotspot over there.
Perfect. Angel's going to send off a text to Isabel, because she knows that at least Isabel's going to be at that meeting, and if it's a B, I'll figure out how it's exactly worded, so she's typing at it for a while, because she's going to text Isabel to, if Marin actually shows up, if he could message us the next time they had a meeting with the stranger, or knew the stranger would be anywhere, so that we could know and enter the place while he is not present.
Be any kids?
I like that! We're gonna get her burglary!
I mean, it would definitely not be Angel's first. Not what she does.
Finally gonna give the break-in that almost happened in the first session.
Hes can just literally whoosh y'all in.
Yeah. She texts back some variation of will do.
And that's just in case Angel can't make it there by 6. What time is it?
2-ish in the afternoon.
So at the moment, I should be able to make it there, but something might come up. So I need her to pass that message along if I'm not there.
Yeah. Well, with this information, I'd recommend we not kill strange. If there's some way we can get this out of him, maybe if we destroy the tether. And she's like kind of going off into like scientist rabbit hole.
One moment, just stop just a moment. So I've got a possible contact within the wizards, and if he can get us the information when we know the stranger will not be at his residence at that house, whatever he considers it, then we can go in and attempt to determine what should you call it?
Tether?
Anchor? Tether?
Anchor?
Right. Whatever it is, we can try and determine what it is and get it taken care of.
Yeah, hopefully it's there. We haven't been able to get in any of the places we think it might be close enough to figure out if it's actually there or not.
Well, then we'll get that answer.
I mean, worst comes to worst, we can take something of theirs and then I could track it.
So, we did know that it was something circular, right? I think we got that from Cass's journal? I got that from Cass's.
That in another world it was. You have no idea what it is in this world.
Right, but it gives us a starting place.
Also, it is the thing that will feel the wrongest.
That too. That, yeah.
Angel, by the way, did we tell you, and Hess would point to Roz's photo, good news, at the hospital, probably also missing their soul.
Interesting phrasing.
She's alive, that's the good... I don't know how to put a soul back at the moment. Getting there, this thing that Winwood and I are building should do that, but until then, I can't do much.
But you're working with the imp that runs the junk drawer.
Wind, yes.
So I've never actually gone in and learned their name. Apologies.
It's fine, she's rather nice, actually.
Yes, I have been meaning to go in, but I usually am kind of in a hurry.
Yeah, this, gestures, I should... Right, and turns back to the conspiracy board, and probably, because it's a new scene, the horns and the tail and the teeth and the ears disappear, and this time what's left is her legs kind of bow, and they turn into these, like, satyr legs, and she has, these dark red irises that are slit down the middle with, like, elven ears, and she's kind of is checking out the board and trying to piece together why these people of power, why stick to them.
It's just a very soft... Oh, that looked uncomfortable as your legs do the thing.
She kind of looks down. Honest, it tingles, mostly.
Perhaps once we're done with the current problem, we can see about seeing if we can make this less of a thing. It's been attracting attention.
Makes for a very good cosplay account. Lots of sponsorships.
It is true. And you've done some wonderful work.
Does Angel know? Was it Natalie? Yes. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what Angel knows about the individual, not Multae, the organization.
You can roll to put a face to a name.
Because, like, she knows Hess, but she doesn't... I don't think she's familiar with her mother.
Hess probably would have mentioned her mom's name and that she lives in town, but... Yeah, mom does magic, kind of like me, kind of not, but other than that, it was, like, very, very vague.
Yeah. You said put a face to a name?
Yep, and she is power.
You need night, though. 8.
Okay, so you... From conversations with Hess might have also mentioned that her mom does a lot more of the kitchen witch kind of magic.
Hedge witch.
Very nice, very smart. Hess had no idea she was involved in this. You're not entirely sure how she got involved in this. There was a person who entered recently. There's another person who you don't know, because down there it's, there's Kirsten, Lily, and then there was another person who walked in. If you would like to, there's a man, tall, dark hair, nicely dressed, if you want to roll to see if you know who the heck that guy is, because he's just been kind of standing there holding a file folder.
Oh. Yeah.
So, now you can roll with night.
Yay, that's my 4th! That'll check all 4. Thank you. 9, again.
Alright, so another person you haven't really interacted with much, but you came to know of him in some of your times here, because it's kind of good to know. Sometimes you have to wander around odd places for your job, so you politely inform people so they don't get too worried, and you know there is a certain wolf pack that is located they live near the Boys and Girls Club, and a lot of them are actually on the police force.
Right.
This is one Clark Ward. He is the brother of the leader, and it does look like he's holding a police file.
What's that you got there?
Oh, Natalie asked for it, and it was what information we were able to get on the investigation into Cass's murder before a certain individual, Ray the Stranger, convinced the certain people in charge to pressure us to shut the investigation down.
So when Hes hears that, the Aurora Borealis flashes again, and now Angel can see it because Cole's seen it, and probably her mom. The just script of Nordic runes up and down her arm and across her face into that tree of life, and it's just flaring this angry red Aurora Borealis as her fists are clenched and taking very deep breaths to calm herself and not lose control of the magic.
Yeah. Cole, how do you react to this?
I think that Cole is, or I'm feeling like I've gotten as much information as I'm gonna really get here, and I'm pretty ready to, like, get out and get on.
Not reacting to the information that the stranger forced the wizards to shut down get the investigation shut down into Cass's murder.
Yeah, I'm kind of just, like, sitting by the door, feeling like everything that's happening here is turning inconsequential, and like they're not getting anything done at this point. So I'm very close to just like the door, feeling kind of antsy.
That's fair enough.
Set down the file and flip it open. And we've got some people, another couple people that are still trying to look into some of this on their free time, and we haven't even been able to find out much, but given who got it shut down.
Right. There's a few names that I can give you of those that aren't too happy with the fact that it's being, among the wizards, that is. But they're being blackmailed by the stranger. Not too surprising that. You also, is it just is it 5 or 4 down here?
I think I've described there's like 4 people down here.
Is this all of you?
Well, we have a couple others who help us find things, but they don't know the full picture of things yet. It's a bit difficult to explain and not have people panic.
Right, okay. Well, I can maybe help with that, depending. And to be honest, I don't know much. Let's not get into who they are. They've got power. They've got manpower. And I can get you in contact with them. They would be quite interested in what you do and making sure it gets done proper.
Clark just kind of nods like, I think those might be the ones. My sister Lisa's been working with a couple. There are a lot of people that aren't happy about this, and there are a lot of people that are firmly in his pocket.
Right. I'm not talking about the wizards, by the way, in this. This is completely separate. This is who I work for.
Oh. That could be useful, because I feel like this affects more than just us, but I don't know how quickly people can get here to help with this. But the more help, the merrier.
I also, they are actually looking into, I should probably reach out to him again now that I know more. Anyway, his card, Xander, what last name did I give him? I think it was White.
That sounds right.
Xander is, for want of a better word, my supervisor, I guess?
Interesting, that could be. Thank you. I'll reach out to him and see what we can get going, but for now, trying to track down the anomaly while I know there's some people trying to see about arranging power shift.
Yes, and I've actually got a meeting with Marin in a few hours that I hope I can make.
That's good. Don't want to make you late for that, but we do have some information, and there's going to be a power shift. I'm not involved in that as much, but she nods to Clark. Yeah, we've been frustrated with the wizards for a while. They've been too comfortable in their power for a while.
I don't see it as being shifted away from the wizards. I'm going to be straight up about that. It'll be getting the strangest boot off the throats of the wizards.
Oh no, there are some good that we want to remain, but there are some that need to stop running the city. And we've got some people in line that are ready to try shifting things around. Hopefully, if we can get that rolling. I don't know how. There's been a lot of pieces moving for a while, and I think we're gonna have to get them moving soon. Especially if what you're saying is true about the timeline we have. The sooner we get power out from underneath him, the better.
I don't know if it's just me. I'm feeling kind of stuffy in here. I might head out for some fresh air. And I'm gonna try to make my way for the door.
Right, nothing's gonna get done in this basement. No offense.
Yeah. Sorry we don't have anything more actionable to give you, but
Nope, that's alright.
if we learned anything, I can text Hes and she can spread it to the rest of you.
Angel will actually hand her a card. Here's my information. As well.
Oh, thank you.
I'll let Xander know what's up, so that they will be expecting your contact.
Of course, and like I said, if there's anything else we can help with, let me know. I guess I know Cole is starting to head out.
It was a pleasure meeting y'all. Hope to do it again
Likewise.
soon. I say very awkwardly as I kind of open the door and take my first step out towards the main entrance.
Yeah, if I just get some goodbyes after you. Pleasure meeting you as well. Angel, are you gonna be heading out too?
Yes, she actually wants to speak with Cole for a moment.
Okay. So we can do that, and then
Hess will bring up the rear, kind of like not saying anything, hoping to escape, but probably getting caught.
Are you following me, or are you giving me like a minute to get up top?
Angel will follow, and it's not necessarily important that it happens down there. So you're leaving. She's just gonna kind of follow outside. Cole, do you have a moment?
Yeah, just one sec. We're outside now, I presume.
you get to be like just outside, like on the little front porch.
We're on the outside. Yeah, just give me one sec, Angel. You're gonna see me take out my phone, take out a second, newer phone, and you're going to see me pull the SIM card from the phone, swapping it to the other, and turn it on, making a single button press. And I'm gonna turn my back and basically just say, yeah, this is Cole, ID Romeo Elko Delta. Go ahead and mobilize Austin, would you? If you would, assemble the riders and spare the seekers for now. New comms 2964. And then I pull that SIM card out and sent. Now, what was that, Angel?
Also, for story reasons, Hess, you're still in the basement for a minute.
Oh, no, that was Fennec out of character being like, what the fuck?
Okay, so how much does Angel, I mean, she's got theories now after overhearing that, but how much does she know about that prior?
Nothing.
Okay. Alright, that makes a lot of sense now. So, Hess was saying you've got firepower, and it sounds like you've got manpower as well.
Something like that.
Right.
You might need to make this a little bit quick as you see a yellow old Pontiac GT pull down from the road and pull up right in front of the house, just waiting.
So, you've got firepower, and I'm assuming, do you have... How shady is your business? I'm just gonna be straight up.
I pull out a pack of cigarettes and I just light one and start taking a drag. I mean, I'm not going to say we don't get things done, but why are you asking?
Mostly to see who I've got capable to help. And you've got manpower, yes?
I look back at the vehicle, look back at you. I think we can handle ourselves.
Right, but what I'm asking, do you have enough to maybe sit one or two on the house of the... I don't rather like calling him, but of the stranger?
You just give me that address and I'll take care of that.
Yes, and...
I'll say you've seen the address.
Yeah. So she does give him the address, and I probably don't have to say this, but stress that they cannot be seen.
Oh.
We do not, A, want to tip our hands, and...
They won't be.
Perfect. Right. Then, thank you. That might be more reliable than Marin getting a message when they know he'll be away, if we can see him leave. I won't keep you any longer.
I appreciate that. And with that, he's going to take the old phone, look at it, and say, shame about my snake score. He's going to stick it in the pack of cigarettes and take one more drag, pop that cigarette in there, and toss the pack behind him as the pack lights up as there was thermite all the way through it. SIM card phone burns up, and he walks into the vehicle, shuts the door, and waves as it drives off.
I have so many questions!
And then Angel's gonna make a call to Xander.
Okay, so we'll get back to that in a bit, because we're gonna be wrapping soon. There's a thing I want to do. Okay, so back down in the basement. As you stay behind, and you haven't really taken a minute to look at the conspiracy board, have you?
I mean, she's been looking at it and, like, pointing out pictures and tried to figure things out, but no, she'll take a closer look.
So as you're looking, this will be the last scene, and then we'll come back for more later.
No, don't do what you think you're gonna do.
As you're looking, you can just kind of like trace back the timeline, and you notice like it goes back farther than when you thought the stranger first arrived. And it goes back to a date that you know very well.
No.
Because the date the anomaly showed up in Oak Ridge is the same date the cat disappeared.
Oh, Hess just fucking... and blasts the conspiracy board with her magic into the wall. That was probably a loud enough scream that Angel could hear it too.
Angel would probably maybe have put that together because she did read in the journal about...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been in Cass's journal.
It was in Cass's journal, I do remember that.
And the confrontation.
So, when you hear the scream, you're just like, what in the... Oh, wait. And then it all clicks.
Yep.
Because when something came into this world, something else got knocked out.
Yeah. And then she'll be dialing Xander and gonna leave the porch because I don't know exactly how strong that was and the structural integrity of the house after that.
Hear a beep on your phone. It's a new number you don't recognize, messaging the group text that says, "New phone, who dis? Haha, me, Cole."
Yeah, no, there's just an angry swirl of red galaxy-based magic right now. That is not answering their phone.
Tempest Multae is a production of Pseudonym Social, changing reality one story at a time. It is an actual play podcast using Urban Shadow's 2E Quick Start Guide, and it's set once again in the town of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. I am your keeper and producer.
I am Blaze, and I'll be playing Jason Madison Coleman, the Aware.
Sup, y'all? I'm Fennec Foxfire. I will be playing Hess, playing from the Book of the Wizard.
I am Ava Rogers. I will be playing Angel Day, the Sworn.
To get more information on this or any of our other shows, check out our website at pseudonymsocial.com.